Hola muchachos, ¿qué tal? Buenas tardes. Aquí tienen las instrucciones a tu última tarea. Se llama Mi Autoretrato. Your last assignment for the academic year, My Self-Portrait, is the name of the title. It is due June 1st at midnight or June 2nd at midnight, depending on whether you're an A or B day class. It is worth 75 points, and it is, in a nutshell, a presentation, either in a video, Google slide, or PowerPoint format, in which you outline in Spanish what you are like now, what were you like as a child, and what you aspire to be like in the future. Now, the good news, as daunting as this looks, is that you've already done the first two of the three parts to this project. They're done already. If you've been you've been up to date more or less on your coursework. So before we dive into each of the parts, I want to encourage you guys to download this outline to help organize your presentation, organize the content of the presentation. So you can download that by clicking on the hyperlink or the download arrow. Then you can see the three different sections. ¿Quién soy yo is the portion about what you're like now in the present. De niño como eras is what you were like as a kid. And then ¿Cómo serás en el futuro are the future goals and aspirations that you have for yourself in the future. So you can use this document. This isn't what you're going to submit. You do not need to submit this document at all. This is just for your purposes, for your own use to organize your presentation. A rough draft, if you will. You don't need to submit it. So let's take a look at the three parts. For this assignment, you'll be assessed on your ability to utilize key vocabulary and grammar concepts. 2. Part 1, describe various aspects of your personal background, your personality, your hobbies, family life, etc. So you can see here all of the key vocabulary and concepts that you can utilize from the textbook to complete this portion. And there are 5 questions that you are to answer to describe yourself in the present. Now, you've done this already, as I mentioned to you guys in class. The very beginning of the academic year, if you go into modules, and in the intro orientation module, there's an assignment called Meet and Greet Introductions. And you guys answered these same 5 questions. ¿Cómo eres? ¿Qué te gusta hacer en tus ratos libres? ¿Qué es tu materia favorita y por qué? ¿Participas en un club o deporte? ¿Y cómo es tu familia? You can watch the video here. This is from way back in August, right? So you can watch the video to run that back and walks you through how to complete each of those 5 questions, or take a look at my PowerPoint that's uploaded there. And there are guide instructions for how to complete this. 5 adjectives to describe yourself, and this is all in the present, right? So how you view yourself now. ¿Qué te gusta hacer en tus ratos libres? What do you like to do in your free time? Can you use this project that you previously submitted as part of your project for this final assignment? Absolutely. Don't know about you guys, though. I've changed a little bit. Maybe you want to change some of the hobbies. Maybe you want to change a couple of the adjectives. Or maybe your favorite class is no longer Spanish, it's English. So you may want to switch it around a little bit to fit you now. But yeah, you're more than welcome to use what you've already done. and adopt it accordingly. And if you want to see an example, take a look at mine. Do I need to include pictures in my presentation? Yes. Check out mine. Yeah, you need visuals to go along with your presentation. Yes. Do they all need to be authentic pictures that you've taken of yourself? No. Google Images are cool too. But the more that you can personalize, this is your last assignment, guys. Your last assignment for the academic year for this class. Finish off on a high note. Put everything you got into it. Make it you. Make it personal. It is your self-portrait. And you can follow my lead. All right, so that's the first part. Again, the good news, you've already done the first part, right? If you turn in that assignment at the beginning of the academic year. And just to run it back real quick, how I got there. From our home page, I went to Modules. Oh, it's not wanting to cooperate, but I went to Modules, and then the Intro Orientation module is where I found that meet and greet assignment. All right, for the next part of this project, part 2 is to describe various aspects of your childhood, personality, hobbies, family life, etc. And again, you've already completed this portion about 5-6 weeks ago at the end of April. Is when you guys submitted a project called De Niño, De Niña, Como Eras. I'm not going to pull up that project because my computer's running a little slow, but basically it looks similar to this in your outline. Como eras, 5 adjectives to describe what you were like as a child. Que te gustaba hacer en tus ratos libres, 5 things you used to like to do in your free time. It's really similar to the first part. The difference is that the grammar you're using is the imperfect tense, because you're talking about things that you used to do or what you used to be like. We use the imperfect for that. And the vocabulary for sure is going to be different because you're talking about when you were a kid. But it's kind of the same format in terms of how you go about responding to those key questions. So go back into assignments and then pull up that assignment. It's called De Niño, De Niña, Como Eras. And you can pull up what you did. And again, you're more than welcome. You guys did an awesome job with that. A lot of you really personalized it. And I could tell really put forth your best efforts into it. I want you to utilize it again, right? So you're welcome to use that assignment that you turned in previously and make it a part of this self-portrait assignment that we're doing now. The only new thing that you're doing, really brand new, is part 3, making predictions about your future self. So the grammar that we use for that is the future, which is what we're going over this week, and that's on page 460. And then you may want to use some of the key vocabulary from pages 452 and 453. Okay, so here you have the key vocabulary for Chapter 9A, which you guys did in Quizlet earlier this week. For example, la política, el gerente, which is a manager, veterinario. We have a lot of cognates in this chapter, right? Ingeniero is an engineer. Científico. You may want to use some of this vocabulary to talk about what your future profession or career, job might be. But really, it's up to you. Whatever you want to talk about in terms of what you aspire to be like in 5 years. Where will you live? Where will you be in 5 years' time? You could use the verb vivir for that. Where will you be working? You could use the verb trabajar for that. What will you be? A student still? A professional in the field that you're interested in? A parent in 5 years' time? I don't know, who knows? You would use the verb ser for that. So pick any verbs, anything, that you want to use to express your future goals and conjugate those verbs in the future. Guys, it's super easy to do. To form the future tense of any type of verb, whether it be AR, ER, or IR, we use the same set of endings for AR, ER, and IR, and then you add those endings to the infinitive, like trabajar, or ser, or vivir. So you don't drop the AR, ER, or IR. You leave the verb ending there and add the future tense endings to the infinitive, and you can see what that looks like here, these examples. We're going to do exercise 14 together, which will be great practice, and you'll have a couple warm-ups as well to practice. So utilize those warm-ups. Matter of fact, I think one of the warm-ups is just straight up asking you what you intend to do in 5 years' time. So incorporate a little bit of that warm-up into your project and just make 5 statements. And they can be really short and formulaic. I know you want to express yourself as articulately as you do in English, and you're more than welcome to try. The only thing I'm going to be looking for is the grammar component. I need to see you showing me that you know how to do the future. If you need to look up new vocabulary and you want to take some risks in terms of how to say something, go for it. You're using Spanish Dictionary to look up a word, a new vocabulary word that we've not discussed yet, please do and incorporate it in your project. It's only when you take a full sentence, right? I want to be a helicopter pilot in South America when I grow up. Copy, paste, that doesn't work. But helicopter pilot, you want to look that up? Absolutely, and use that in your project. So that's the grammar component for the future. Trabajaré, I will work. Viviré, I will live. Estudiaré, I will study. ¿Cierto? And that is the final component for our assignment. 5 statements about where you envision yourself being in the next 5 years, or 10 years or beyond. What are your future goals? How do you envision yourself in the future? So that's it. That takes us to the very end. Video, Google Slide, PowerPoint, any format you choose. It is due on the 1st or the 2nd. Each part is worth 25 points. That's how we get to the grand total of 75. If you guys have questions, come and see me during student tutorial. Sorry this video is hella long. Hopefully it was helpful. If it was, like it. Subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get to that goal of 100 people. So help me out with that, if you would, please. But yeah, please don't Google Translate or use Spanish Dictionary. No online translator at all to do complete sentences. Everything you need is right there, guys, in the textbook. Again, 2/3 of the project you're already done with. It's just polishing it off here, what we've talked about throughout the entire academic year. Finish strong. Do your best. Thank you sincerely over this past academic year. I know it hasn't been ideal, but I hope you've enjoyed parts of it. I've enjoyed getting to know you guys as best as we've been able. I wish you good luck, and don't be a stranger as you guys are on campus. I'd love to see you guys, and hopefully I'll have that opportunity next academic year and beyond, and here in the community. So buena suerte con el proyecto, y chao, nos vemos, adiós.